We're live there.
Of course. I'm just beasting right now.
Perfect. All right, ready?
Yes,
In
sir.
3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Airing It Out podcast live. I am your host, Dustin Marion, my partner in crime, Hollow Clutch. Welcome back, Hollow. What is going on, bro?
I needed a very much needed vacation to reset, get mentally focused for I feel like it's gonna sound weird, a fast long year.
So did you meditate, levitate, hallucinate? Did you get all the tates in there, baby?
a little bit of everything. Almost lost my shit a few times because of the COVID stuff. But
Nice.
besides that, I had a good time with family.
Did you get smacked while you were there or what?
Um, the last night I got a little saucy for the most part. The last night, every other night, it was mostly seeing family, chilling, had a few beers, nothing crazy. But the last night, we got a hotel just for one night because our flight was supposed to be at 5 a.m. And for whatever reason, United dog shit. They changed our flight to 1 o'clock in the afternoon without saying a word. So then the car service we ordered to pick us up, and when we came back, the guy calls us and he's like, "Yo, that flight doesn't exist." And I'm like, "What you mean a flight doesn't exist?" And
I said we're staying in Puerto Rico now.
and then I'm over there and I'm calling freaking Expedia, United, and they're all over the place. Yeah, we have a 1:15 flight. I'm like, so nobody was gonna tell me that you guys changed my flight? Like, oh well, we sent you a notification. I'm like, no, you did not. I was waiting. Nobody wants to wake up at 5 a.m, 3 a.m to catch a 5 o'clock flight. Like, nobody in the world wants to do that. But I did that so we could be back early. My girl's birthday was yesterday, so I was trying to get everything situated. But overall, I had a good time. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, no, I really like Puerto Rico. I think it's always a great time. Tabby wants to go. I want to get out there, but it's so weird, man, having to travel like 5-6 hours in a plane. I'm like, Mexico is like an hour.
Word.
I didn't even want to.
Cheaper.
Yeah,
all less annoying.
Right, everything that you could think of. But the thing is, I don't really know what the international COVID protocols are in the sense of how many tests you have to come back negative. I'm sure you said you just had to get tested. You didn't have to get vaccinated, right?
No, yeah, just have to get tested going, and it has to just be negative going.
Right. And so what did you do coming back? Did you have to like schedule it a day before?
You didn't have to get nothing coming back because it's not, remember, Puerto Rico is not
Right. We're kind of like the stepsister that nobody likes.
That was out of the country flight.
Right.
It's still considered a domestic flight.
Yes, 100%.
So you didn't have to worry about doing that on the way back.
Yo, you know what I want to ask you? Because the last time they did me dirty, did they serve you fools anything besides water in that motherfucker? Or
They
didn't even
gave
serve
you water and like graham crackers.
Yo, that is the worst combination on the fucking planet. Listen, airlines people, do not give me like the most like worst thing to swallow with water. That's terrible. All right, I know you guys are struggling, but goddamn, charge me for a Coke. I'll pay for a Coke.
Bro,
right?
Here's worse than that. Here's the idiotic thing of the whole entire thing. So if you sit there, you have to wear a mask the whole time.
Correct.
But if you're eating something or drinking something, you can have the mask off.
Right.
While you're eating or drinking something.
Correct.
So this is how I game the system. I got food from outside. I brought it from outside. So I got like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. I got whatever. So I left the sandwich half eaten in front of me, and I have my mask off the whole ride.
Nasty.
So anytime the stewardess walked by, the food was in front of me, and I had a drink in my hand. So technically, I'm eating.
Right.
So basically, the whole flight, I have my sandwich in front of me with the thing, and I have the mask down the whole entire time. So I just find it idiotic that if you're just sitting there, you have to have the mask on, but if you have food out, you can have it off, and then it's okay. Like it's all about optics, and it's fucking retarded.
100%. Did you see Ben Shapiro post that video about the family that got kicked off because like the 2-year-old didn't have a mask on?
Yeah, like what is wrong with people? The child who's the most safest out of everybody. The safest person on the flight, they worried about the most. It's crazy.
I just did a show. Shout out to Dr. Sheila Young, and Dr. Sheila Young had mentioned that they are the safest to not like get it, but they are the highest to pass it. So there might be some relevance there a little bit with having them masked up. Tabitha brought into perspective something is like, yo, how do you govern a 2-year-old, right? Like that's got to be hard on its own.
Exactly.
And it's for us, it's hard to breathe in that thing, bro. And that's why I've been trying to double down and doing this stuff because I don't know if I want to go back to work for the men and have to wear a mask. That thing, I mean, I feel like I'm getting strangled when I'm even shopping and doing all this other stuff. So that might be a little bit of
before I get out the store, like walking towards the exit, I'm taking my shit off.
Me too.
And I don't put my shit on when I'm inside the door and I'm like about to step through an aisle. I put my mask on, like the least possible or the fastest. Like
we're about to get canceled.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You talked about a little bit. Did you get a chance to look at those numbers? Because Florida and Texas, they were one of the few states to drop the no mask mandate.
So since
Tell me.
okay, so since March 2nd, which is when Texas lifted the mandate,
Right.
COVID cases dropped 4,000 cases per day
Wow.
since they lifted the mandate, and 147 per day hospitalizations went down per day. So for the last 3 weeks.
Again, this is such a complicated situation in the sense of like now there's new variants and new strands of it. I'm just saying.
But here's the issue that I've been screaming about this for 6 months. The science has been out for 6 months.
Right.
There's no I'm not making this based on me how I'm feeling. It's not a feeling. It's based on science. Now, if you're saying something that's you can tell me that it's scientifically proven, I'm with you. It's reminding me of the 80s. How remember in the 80s, HIV was a big thing. And people thought if you just breathed on them, you was going to get HIV. And then obviously science came out, said it had to be, blood to blood or saliva to saliva, open wound. Like you had to literally touch with blood or fucked in the ass or whatever to transmit the disease. But when it first came out, people did not know and people were freaking out, And now the science is there. Just same thing when we have COVID.
It's funny that they didn't try to fucking lock down the country with fucking HIV and AIDS, but they locked us down here. So I got a prediction, and shout out to Josh Booty because he's just gonna release this challenge app called Bula, and you and I were gonna get on it, drop some challenges to each other. But I'm telling you, we're gonna go into another lockdown.
You think so?
Oh yeah, the government is loving this thing. They're loving it, bro.
It's more of the Democrats. The Democrats, for whatever reason,
lock it down.
They can't let it go. They cannot let it go for whatever reason. I almost lost my shit when they announced last week that they were going to making people get a passport.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
That's insane.
I mean, we talked about it a few shows back. The Miami Heat already, doing sections. Where did I just? San Francisco baseball stadium. You cannot watch the baseball game unless you have a vaccine. So forget about sections, cousin. Now the whole entire facility is being governed like that. And so, like when you see something like a Miami, which is a red state, and then you see San Francisco as a city doing something that in the sense of a blue state thing. It seems like both sides of the aisle might be agreeing on this. Who knows? And then now with the traveling, France is on lockdown right now. Germany's on lockdown right now. Poland's locked down. Italy's still on lockdown.
The UK just came out though last week and said they're gonna start treating COVID like the flu.
Right.
Because of Texas and because of Florida, they're gonna open everything up.
It kind of is that way. We haven't tried. I thought we were gonna be handling this thing with herd immunity, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the issue is not so much whether it's harmful or not. The problem is that the medical infrastructure is just not prepared for massive people getting sick. It broke the levee, and they're not doing jack shit to fix that, right? That when we think about it, our population is so huge. The fact that there's not enough beds for all of us is insane. So like maybe we got lucky with COVID. Who knows? And this is again conspiracy theory, but who knows if some terrorism group decides to drop some bioweapon and then we're fucked, not because we get sick, but because we can't save lives fast enough. And I think that was the underlying story with COVID, was that we weren't able to save lives, and the lives that we were saving, people were working like goddamn firemen with 72-hour shifts. Right. And they were overworked and, probably sticking people with the wrong stuff, putting them on the wrong stuff, recommending the wrong things.
Which is going to happen in the beginning of any a pandemic because you don't know what it is.
Right.
So
right.
The only reason people, I know it was a long time ago, but I still reference to this point. The Spanish flu killed 50 million people worldwide. 50 million. And they didn't require mandates. They didn't require quarantines. They didn't require any of these things. The government didn't shut down. If you as the individual were kind of in charge of your own health, if you felt comfortable to wear a mask, it was fine. You can go wear a mask. But there was no companies forcing you. The government wasn't forcing you. There were none of these stupid ass mandates. And those people survived. And it was less people with less technology, with less medicine, and they didn't panic as much as we did with this, with how much medicine we have, how much technology we have, how fast all the countries kind of came together and pumped out solutions and pumped out certain things like hydroxychloroquine was one of the first things that they were saying, the drug for malaria, like that was showing significant signs for COVID. But since Donald Trump said it, it was an issue not to take it.
Right,
It was
right.
all political games of who's saying what, and
Right, and
like
that's why-
if COVID didn't hit, Trump is still president.
No,
1,000%.
I'm not saying that argument doesn't carry water. I think one of the things that was a slippery slope for Trump was him not letting people send in ballots, because making
That too.
people.
But what I'm saying, if
I think
it was
filtered
no
through.
COVID, if there's no COVID, the economy doesn't tank.
Right? Yeah. Oh,
So
well, a
he
lot of
wins.
people happen.
So he wins 100%. He wins
sure.
again.
Yeah.
The only
Well,
people, because people are blaming him. Any president who sat in that chair when COVID hit would have had the same problems. Any
Right.
one of them. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at, I mean, a lot of people are arguing right now that Uncle Joey's not doing too great of a job. And I mean, dare I say, bring back Trump? I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, from where I was standing, neither one of those people are really affecting my lives. I'm not a millionaire, so I don't get tax breaks, and you know, I'm poor, so I don't know if the Republicans even care. I kind of stay out of the limelight and on the sidelines. I'm already a homebody, and you know, I try to stay out of trouble.
This is how much of a homebody I am. Last week they just said they were going to lift an 11 p.m. curfew in New York. I didn't even know there was an 11 p.m. curfew in New York. I had like zero. So I was like, okay, like,
I bet anybody who plays fucking call at a rate that you do, motherfuckers that know Jack.
I'm so like busy, like I'm always home doing something, trying to build something. I'm home by 7, 8 o'clock already. Like I was never even out at that time.
I
was
mean,
surprised.
it didn't really affect me. I mean, I wasn't going to the club like that. I mean, I don't even know if I shared it with you, but I forget what's today. Today's the 8th, so I'm about like 6 weeks sober from pot and alcohol. But I wasn't even going out when I was drinking. I stayed home, right? Because I'm not gonna pay $6 for a beer that I could pay $2 more. I get the whole 6-pack, right?
Exactly.
Like I'm not even doing that. And out here, there was crazy, bro, because a lot of bars were like, "Screw you," and they just stood open. And it was weird because it was very. Hold on. Who's that? That's interesting. Well, I'm beeping in the background. I don't even know what. Oh, I know what that sound is. I got I got all beeping sounds coming. But yeah, no, I didn't even go out, and a lot of places became speakeasies, and I wanted to go. I thought it would have been cool just to sit in the background and stuff, but I never really ever went. So not really a big deal. Something that is a big deal. Did you see the video I sent you, bro?
Oh, with the Uber driver?
Bro, how crazy was that video, bro?
It's crazy. And then if you listen at the end of the video, the girl says, "Oh, I need to get my phone. I left my phone in the car."
I'm not trying to laugh at the situation, but those two girls were retarded. Ooh, those two girls were so silly. Let me retract my statement, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm on the fringe on that. I'm still working on it. I'm trying to be better. But holy fuck. You know what I want to know? Because I try to read and I still haven't even gotten, you know, God bless the fam and all that stuff. I know he's got a GoFundMe. I hope they were able to raise money to help out the family.
500,000.
If he's, you know, the main breadwinner.
Do you hear that sound? Hold on, the sound is acting up a little bit.
That was me. I think somebody was hitting me up on this thing. Uh-oh, here we go.
Is the sound coming through?
No. Okay. We got. I got one of our fans just blowing me up. Like, you guys don't even know what you're talking about. Apparently, we got some watchers that we raised their blood temperature.
Listen, if you want to say we don't know what we're talking about, man, all the sources that I read, you could take it up with them. That's all I know.
Oh my god! I gotta put this down just so that there's not more noise in the background. I know it sounded like the aliens were landing and shit. But anyways, getting back to that situation, I felt super bad for the dude. What I didn't get to read was, I know they said they stunned him, but did they stun him and then he put the foot on the gas? That's what made him go so fast? Like, that was a fucking crazy wreck.
If you look at the through the windshield, the other girl had a darker shirt. So you couldn't see her. She was in the driver's seat. So you saw Shorty in the right side with the pink or orange sweater, and then the other girl was in the driver's seat. So she was trying to take off with the car. So he was fighting her, trying to push her out the way to get in the car, and I guess Shorty stepped on the gas and went, and it was crazy. The fact that when that
I never
happens,
seen shit
I
like that, bro.
I
That
would have
was
let go and it's like, all right, go ahead, go. We'll eventually get you.
right. You trying to hold the car that's probably insured.
Yep.
Steph or like somebody stealing your whip has to be covered.
And I'm pretty sure like he probably feels like that's his livelihood. You know, like
Oh, trust me, any of us would have happened, we would have fought. I mean,
Yeah.
it's your property, but was it worth risking your life?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
and a few shows back, we just talked about that young lady who coughed all over the driver. So now, like for me, why would you want to become an Uber driver? Why would you want to do Lyft?
Any
Why
of
would you
them.
want to do Uber Eats? Why would you want to do any of that stuff when people are just, it seems like since COVID changed, we're back to usual because now we're shooting mass shootings are back. People are just doing crazy stuff. I mean, it's just chaos because that was insane. And the fact, I mean, I read a lot of the comments on that thing, and apparently, if someone is in that bad of a shape, you can't even touch them. But it was strange to me that there was military personnel there, and they did not try to resuscitate my man.
I'm pretty sure at the moment, remember, they probably thinking they see two girls jumping out the car. Maybe they think that he is trying to kidnap them. Not, you know what I'm saying? Like it's that's a good lens to look it through. It's a bang bang. You see a car coming down the street, coming right at you. Car flips, lands right in front of you. You see two girls climbing out of a shit. That video's in a minute in like 10 seconds. So
shorter than that,
it's like bang 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 bang. You know, like you don't know what the fuck is going. But the one thing they did do, they grabbed them. Like they didn't go nowhere because homeboy was like, yo, they trying to. They the ones who created the crash. They were carjacking the homeboy. Only thing I didn't like, which again is all in a minute. Like it's all in context. If I was one of the army guys, I probably would have took my jacket off and threw it over the top of homeboy. But like again, the video was short. The guy cut it off. Like I didn't see the entirety of the video. Who knows if they did do that? It was kind of alarming, and it's a little crazy how like we're becoming desensitized as a society to these things.
Yeah, man.
And
I think the beginning of that was Floyd getting his neck, broken in half on the side of the curb. And then we're watching banks being burnt down and BLM and I don't know, QAnon and, Proud Boys and everybody. I mean, shit was burning down like it was a movie every week. So there's definitely a level of desensitization or being desensitized from watching that. Because when I watched it, I was shocked. That shit looked fake. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
His body was all fucked up, man. It was crazy the way he was.
So sad, man. So sad. I mean, shucks. I don't know, man. I just joined Clubhouse and I want to get you on it so we can start, showing some more love. But one of my biggest things, man, and I don't know if you feel me on this, where's our humanity and where's our sense of community? Right? Like,
is this weird thing that we're going on right now? Is that like a lot of people feel entitled to things? Like this younger generation, for my generation, for whatever reason, I understand that you want to be better than your parents were and then better than your grandparents were. But like some of these people who I see raise their kids, they're raising them so soft and with not a lot of discipline. It's you can do anything, Timmy. You're the best, Timmy. If something bothers you, Timmy, don't worry about it. We'll fix it for you, Timmy. We're gonna do it. People are mean to you, Timmy. Don't worry about it. You're special. We're gonna be there. We're gonna always love you. And if those people are mean to you, we'll handle those things for you. Like the world is a mean, gritty place, and you need to raise your kids to be ready and prepare for all those things. And I don't know if you ever seen this video. It's by Andrew Schultz.
Okay, tell me.
And he talks about the Hispanic culture, and he talks about how the reason why you don't see mass Hispanic shootings from Hispanics being bullied so much, which let's clarify. There are some Hispanic people who do get bullied, but majority of them get bullied by their own family. They get bullied by love. That's why most of them are called flaco, negra. They call gordo. So when you go to school and somebody makes fun of you and say, "Hey, yo, you been fat,"
you're already there.
That's my nickname.
That's true.
My grandfather calls me gordo.
My grandfather called me negro, so
exactly.
I got it.
I'm there already. Like I'm black, I'm fat, and I'm skinny. Or they call me big head, or they call me big teeth, or they call me something that is a term of endearment within the Hispanic community. So when you go to school, it's not this whole big bullying thing. But
it's weird because someone just put me on to this guy Killer Mike.
I love him.
Yo,
that's my guy.
G. Just learned about him the other day. And he talked about it, and he said, I forget what he was saying specifically, but he was talking about on how I guess somebody wanted him to talk about bullying, and he was like, I'm not doing that. And it was like, you need to learn how to get punched in your mouth, because life is going to punch you in the mouth, and you need to learn how to overcome adversity. And you need, and that's the thing, right? So like, it just is this weird thing, because I think Bill Maher's been talking about it a lot as well. We handed out all these trophies. Everybody came in first place. Everybody's a winner. And so now when you talk about entitlement, all those kids that was getting those trophies are now millennials, and now they're 20, 25, and they just believe that everything was supposed to be given to them and everything's supposed to be accepted, when via us, we were raised by Gen X, and Gen X was really raised by baby boomers, and we got a way more tougher fucking deal. We got spanked harder. We got punished harder. Life was tougher. We didn't have the fucking internet. Video games, even as much as we played, weren't even that fire as they are now, right? Like we were still dealing with stuff. It was when we were getting older in our like later teens and early 20s when games started coming out. I mean, I think the first one that really broke the bank was Grand Theft Auto 3. When Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, that changed the game. You know what I mean? Because we had never seen nothing like that. But prior to that, we were in the streets. We didn't have cell phones for to be like, yo, where you at? It was just like, look, don't get kidnapped.
You had a call from downstairs. You scream upstairs. Like, yo, I'm downstairs, yo.
Right. So I think, we are circling on the block in a very, very strange place. And I think that these individuals that are fighting for some of these things to be canceled are the ones that are leading the pack in that regard. Like when they jump on the bandwagon, because a lot of these companies are really the ones that are pushing it, but then they get the followers to jump on it. And those are the people that are jumping on it. Because I believe, our generation and like Gen X, because you're technically a millennial, but you don't behave in that manner, right? I'm technically a millennial too, because the cutoff is like 81, 82, depending on how you look at it. And we don't act like that. But now they make sections of millennials. I think there's like millennial X and Y and whatever the fuck. But we're the earlier ones, right? And so what I'm saying is, we were raised way different, and I was talking to a mutual friend of me and Tabs, and we were talking about it, which I was dying, because she was just talking to me about how soft her kid is. And I also think, and you tell me if this is true too, I feel like there's more single parent, like single kid households. Not single parent, single kid. So like instead of you being raised by like 9 motherfuckers and everybody's whipping each other's ass, it's one. And when you have one kid, first of all, you're gonna love your kid. There's a tendency of spoiling them. I think when you at least have 2, they got to fight over shit. They got to share, everything's not going to work out their way. So they have a tendency of governing themselves. But now with this whole thing, it's getting out of hand. It really is. And I get nervous because these are the cats that are going to be holding us down. They might be able to like use social media and all the stuff that I don't know how to do, but I don't know if it came to a mental fist fight, how they would handle it.
Yep. Because it's all about like safe space. It has to be in my safe space. I have to be, people be nice to me. That's why people always say like, to me, I talk to my kids like adults.
Me too.
Regardless of the fact, because they need to handle, verbiage in that way, and it's easier for them to understand and to talk to them in a high-pitched voice, first of all, which whatever reason people still do, and then talk to them like they're stupid kids. So like I break things down to my kids, talk to them like normal human beings. If they don't get it, I break it down as much possible until they understand, because that's how I talk to even adults that way, because people still don't understand or grasp things. So like when I say I've been on the right side of this COVID shit for 6 months, been saying the same shit, pounding the same shit over and over and over and over again, because the data's out, it's been out, and then when the data's out and it's proven, people still feel like, oh, this is how I feel, and I can't have a conversation when people say that's how you feel, because that's not what I'm going by, because we can't live our life like you can't live your life in a box and not take any risks. That's not what life is. You get one at bat. Gary Vee did the math. You have 1 in 400 trillion chance of being a human. Like, you could have been you could have been a rock or glass or fucking something. You're a human being. And people are taking advantage and think you're gonna be here forever. You're gonna wake up one day, you're gonna be 55 and be like, yo, I didn't do anything with my life.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and was kind of making him, look at the man in the mirror a little bit, because I had too. And it's just like, what do you want to be remembered about? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to go get it? Are you going to go swing for the fences? So at least if you go, you be like, yo, fuck it. I tried hard and maybe I hit some things and maybe I didn't hit some things, but you know,
it's like, insane. Look, technically your life can end up, we're going to talk about this right now, can end up like DMX.
Yeah, bro.
End up somebody who was a fantastic rapper, had a hell of a run, but he just couldn't. The demons are still there for him. You know,
I know it was something that I was watching on Gary Vee, which was very interesting. Do you want all the money or you want all the happiness?
Exactly.
Right. Because the money, obviously, I mean, we just keep watching it. I mean, the celebrities are literally showing us what all the money does to you. Whether it's NBA, MLB, they don't really get into too much trouble, but the NBA and the NFL, obviously, tons of stars, obviously, tons of musicians. I mean, the demons are just brutal.
You got Kurt Cobain, you got Heath Ledger,
everything
you got look at Robin Williams,
right?
You know, like.
And you would think Homeboy was good. Robin Williams is like the perfect example because Homeboy took his life like 50 plus.
Yep. Right? You got Travis Barker, like keep going
after hit, and you're just winning. You know, you got all the money, you got all the fame. You're a G. You're the funniest guy on the planet, and still, you couldn't shake it. And this situation with DMX, not only is it scary and makes you think, but I just don't understand where we at in the drug war in America. It's not working.
The drug war in America, America has already lost that war.
100%. We're done. We need to retire. They need to start really figuring out this thing. I can't believe it took this long for New York to become legal with it. But okay, it's progressive. But I think that we need to start opening up the hatches and really start looking at some of these things.
We got to do what Portland did.
Yes.
Legalize all drugs across the board.
Yes. I mean, how are you supposed to take the kung fu grip out of the cartel?
Exactly.
I mean, the black market is crazy. Exactly. Now, granted, if we lose the grip on drugs, maybe human trafficking goes higher. But at least it's something that we can kind of control and look at. But also with Big Pharma, the pill epidemic in this country is no joke.
Yep.
No joke. And when I went back to New York, I could have got a prescription for whatever I wanted, which is crazy. Yep. Just to get high, not to get better. You know what I mean? And it's insane that nobody's talking about this. I mean, even with the mass shootings, I've spoken to a few people on the show, off air, on air. I'm about to do a couple more shows about it. But where's mental health being looked at? Where are we trying to talk about
this thing?
Like everybody's worried about, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to buy an assault rifle. Okay, listen, maybe you should be worried about that. But when are we going to be worried about, some of these institutions? What about the homeless? Most of those people, like vagrants, is now the new classification for them, I guess. They're going ham. Yep. Out here in California, they're stabbing motherfuckers. 7-Eleven is hot like the block used to be in the 90s. Like, where are we? We worried about all this bullshit. Here comes, Uncle Joey handing out checks that went to go buy PlayStations and alcohol, but you just released a package about $1.9 trillion for infrastructure, and maybe a third of it, if not more, is going to go to the EV sector. Right, so we're worried more about battery operated cars.
5% is only going to infrastructure.
Right, what the fuck are you doing?
5% is probably what.
And how is it mental health fucking not infrastructure? Because if we don't have healthy people, the shit is not gonna get done. You know what I mean? And it's just really scary on how this thing is unwinding. And another thing, back to the DMX thing, they never released what he OD'd on.
I'm pretty sure it's probably coke or heroin. I'm pretty
sure. I don't know, man. I'll tell you this.
Whatever his opioids or whatever.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
Probably
I
pills,
bet it's pharmaceutical drugs, and they're probably being like, yo, keep that shit under wraps because that's going to keep another ugly eye. We talked about in the United States, 500,000 people have died for COVID. But what about the 90,000 a year that die over drug overdoses? And a lot of those drug overdoses are pharmaceutical drugs.
Yep. And those have a lot of sub effects. Those have... it could give you stroke. It could give you heart attacks. It could give you, let's say, if you have breathing issues, asthma attacks and die, brain aneurysms. Like there's a whole myriad of things that happens from those things.
You said, not Jared Leto, Heath Ledger. He passed away because of the pharmaceuticals. Yep. Maybe he mixed the sleeping pill with the stay awake pill. He took the red pill and the blue pill, and it didn't work out. Yep. You know what I mean? And we don't even know. And we got cats like peddling this shit, bro. I think someone said something like Percocet is going for like $90 a pill on the black market right now, bro, or something crazy like that. That shit is more expensive than cocaine, ecstasy, LSD, marijuana, DMT, like anything you can fucking think of, bro.
Crazy. That's why I like the way Portugal did. Portugal, what they did, they went and legalized all drugs.
I agree.
And then you have to go to the clinic. So you go to the clinic.
Right.
When you go to the clinic, you go and they give you a pamphlet. They go, hey, listen, how's your life? You have a job or you don't have a job? Okay. You have family? No, you don't have family. Okay, cool. Now let's get you into a community that you can feel better about yourself. All right. So step 1, let's get you healthy. Step 2, let's get you a job. Now step 3, you still want to do drugs? Cool. Here you go. Clean needle. Marijuana's clean. There's no piss. There's no Raid spray in it. There's no fucking pesticides. There's no Roundup in your weed. It's pure grown marijuana, or pure cocaine, or pure fucking heroin. All that shit. Here you go.
They would make so much fucking money if they just did that and taxed the shit out of it.
That's what they need to do, and that's what they did in Portugal. And then, because most of the people who have a whole
right?
No, Portugal legalized. Yes, the country legalized all drugs.
A lot of those Northern European, because I know like Amsterdam, a lot of the drugs
they've been on the marijuana bandwagon.
No, but even all drugs, like you're not gonna go to jail if you have heroin on you, especially if it's an amount of possession. Yeah. Right? They just qualify
and
now.
crime goes down, everything is down, homelessness is down, everything is down because you could do whatever you want. It's unchecked. People are healthy on it because when you're happy, you don't do drugs that put you down. You don't do like heavy heroin or heavy cocaine to get your mind off of the troubles in your life. You know, people smoke marijuana to chill, relax, laugh, have a good time. You know, but the other shit that like opioids, people take them shits because they want to numb themselves. They want to numb the pain. They want to numb that they got this bill that just came that they can't pay. You know, they want to numb themselves from stuff. And it's a scary thing.
I couldn't agree more, man. It's very, very nerve-wracking, and it's sad to say. I don't want to say you heard it here first, but I don't think D's coming out of that shit.
I hope so. Really hope so.
They already. I mean, I'm waiting back for the test.
He's still in coma, right? You think he's still in a coma?
He's still in a coma, and on Wednesday they took a brain function test, but I don't think they've released the results of it because I guess they want the family to grieve, and they're trying to. Which is
fine.
Yeah, and they're making a decision right now. So I don't think, and then I think someone told me that he was unconscious or like,
when they found him.
But for 30 minutes. So that's not good. That's tough. Right? Like, yeah, so the bounce back. And I mean, fire. His music was fire.
Yes, it was.
And for a guy, when you look at it, that had, I'm not trying to take a shot, but not such complicated raps like Eminem or Fat Joe or some of these other guys. I mean, he kept it super simple, super basic, but the shit was just amazing, bro. I was such a Rough Rider fan. I was banging that first album like a motherfucker, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, my condolences that go out to his family and stuff. I hope he makes it back, but with the news and how I'm reading the tea leaves is not looking good, and it sucks that another legend has to go down, another black, or an Afro-American person has to be dealing with certain problems and didn't have the people in their team or in their group. And again, mental health, because there's no way D's not doing that if D's not feeling 100.
Exactly.
Right? So we need to be looking at this. Another thing that I wanted to bring up to you, because some people are now starting to talk, in some of the forums and the social platforms. And I'm not saying our shit is fire just yet. I think it's pretty good. But, bro, is Joe Rogan getting boring or what?
No, I still find I listened to 2 of them that he just released all the way through.
A lot of people are saying that the guest selection isn't as heavy as it used to be. Another comment was that he has a lot of his team on there, and they be stroking him.
It's his podcast.
I get it. No, I'm saying that, but this guy was like a giant, an hour ago for like 10 years, hard body, and now people are, arguing or discussing on whether the product is watered down now.
To me, depending on like who you're trying to listen to, like he listens to people who he wants to because that's the way it works. And for him going to Spotify, he said it 5 times his audience. So
really?
For whoever is complaining that his shit is complaining about how his shit is going, he doesn't give a fuck. I can tell you that right now.
Of course not. I want to get your opinion because I know you're a fan like I am.
Yeah, I listened to the Eric Weinstein podcast. I thought that shit was dope. I listened to the Marcus Luttrell one that came out a couple weeks ago. That shit was fire. I listened to a little bit of the one he had with Laura or something, a shorty. That shit was dope. You know, I listened to the one with the guy from the vet with the patch. If it was Dan Crenshaw, that was a dope ass podcast. That if you watched it, like if he was here, I would vote for him. I would vote for him.
Heavy. He's pretty heavy in the sense of like some of his points of view.
I could
and stuff
say
like
the
that.
one thing that I is like getting annoyed about that I wish that he would say "fuck you, Spotify" is that Spotify is like taking old episodes down off of their platform that they don't want on their platform, which I find kind of whack. But supposedly those old episodes are staying on YouTube, but it's kind of whack because you like as a fan
You want to stop at one spot.
exactly, and as a fan. You don't want to ever see like why is it always something when a controversial person comes on a podcast with Spotify? Like why is it always got to be some woke nonsense? So that's the only thing I could say that I hope he kind of addresses better and just says, "Yo, Spotify, what are you doing? Fix that." But he said that he didn't care. Like if episodes come down, they come down. But I feel like to your audience, you should care.
Right, you owe us a little something.
Just to say that like you're fighting back against the man. He's too big to fail. Like if Spotify says, "All right, we're gonna pull like if you're gonna pull his podcast off Spotify, cool. He'll go right back to YouTube, iTunes, wherever else, and he'll be just fine. Like nothing's gonna hit him, knock him down at this point in his career.
I mean, first of all, he already cashed the $100 million check or the $50 million check, whatever. Plus. He's got to be getting paid like a mofo to do the UFC because I don't see he's like John Madden for the UFC.
Oh, yeah,
he is
sure.
the voice of UFC, and there's no way you could replace him. I think that not only him doing martial arts, but coming from a space where there wasn't no martial art competitions and having that point of view, like a lot of us do. Shout out to Lucha if he's listening. That's definitely somebody who and him and I were really dialed into the early stages of the UFC and dialed really into martial arts. But yeah, no, I just thought it was definitely food for thought. Only because I think Spotify is fucking with the sauce.
I agree. I definitely agree. Talking about fucking around with sauce. What's up with your man KD?
Woo! Yo, were you in Puerto Rico when that went down?
Yes,
All
I
right,
was.
hold on. I'm about to get canceled right now. You ready? Boom. This is gonna sound terrible because I wanted to talk to Michael Rappaport, but Michael Rappaport is a fucking bitch. First of all.
Okay.
Second of all, I'm gonna say why he was a bitch. If you and me, Jay, are having an argument, right? And let's say we're millionaires because those fools they're pretty well off, right? And we have a disagreement. Is it or is it not a bitch move for me to screenshot the fucking argument and post it?
Yes.
Okay, then that's it. I don't give a fuck what he said. And then when you read the argument, they said he was misogynistic. Why was he misogynistic? Because he called him a pussy? That's not misogynistic. That's two dudes fucking arguing with each other. Listen, we'll go into what was said because I know you got the basketball point of view and all that other stuff and everything about KD. We're going to dive into this because I feel like this is hot and hopefully we get more than 15 views when we top this up. But I just felt it was a personal conversation between two friends that should have gotten no airtime. None. Why are you airing out my man's laundry? You know what I mean? Like, there was no reason for you to post that. So let me wind it back a little bit. Don't you get annoyed? I don't know how often you are on social media in the sense of like personally, but don't you get annoyed when you see maybe one of your friends have a girlfriend and she's smearing him all over social?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You look soft. You look soft. So for me, I just think like some of the shit that he said, okay, he called them pale, right? Pale is really not racist. He could have said something way worse.
For sure.
He could have called him a fucking cracker. He could have said something like way out of his lane. I think for even the shit that he was saying, he was very calm in his attack to Michael.
I think what broke the camel's back was just that he brought his wife up. I think.
Right. I get that.
But I'm saying that's what probably like was his limit. I think if KD would have never brought his wife up, period, I think Michael Rappaport would have never went public.
Okay, so let's go. Okay, I bring up your wife. You posted me on social.
Me and you are real. I'm saying, but me and you are brothers. You know what I'm saying? KD
and they were too.
Nah, they not. They just
best friends. They said they were best friends.
They just cool. They were just cool and cordial. But then remember, he came at him earlier this year.
Who did?
KD came out exactly.
To
And
what? Saying what?
because he was when I don't remember the beginning of the season when KD was getting interviewed by Shaq and Charles Barkley. You know, he was giving them one word answers. And Mike Rappaport said, "Hey, listen, if you're gonna answer the questions to the media, one word answers, just don't even do the interview." And then supposedly he hit up Michael on the side after he heard Michael's remarks and came at him sideways. Then,
Yeah, I seen that text.
so supposedly he came at sideways then, which was
I think that's what sparked it.
which was
That's
4 or
what
5
sparked
months
it.
ago.
Yeah.
And then I guess, you know, and then this time it came, and then, you know, it just exploded. Again,
Should he have gotten fined? Should he have gotten fined from the NBA?
It's just like it's like protecting the shield. So like you have it's remember your employment.
Don't even say no more. That's enough. Got it. Heard.
Because that's already
Right,
you
you're
sign a contract. That anything with media, social media is falls under that.
I get it.
50K is $1 to Kevin Durant. Let's be serious. That's nothing. But again, you don't know, like, you know, what if your wife, let's say if we was, you know, because we brothers, but if your wife gave you a kidney or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I wouldn't have got that emotional.
but we don't know in that moment. You understand what I'm saying?
Sticks and stones.
Of course.
Right?
Of
But
course.
in me, like if you said something to me, right, and you'd have been like, boom and boom, saying relatives or whatever the fuck. Once I take a second, I'm like, he was just trying to stab me with what I know hurts me.
Yeah.
Right? That's why you call somebody a bitch or you say more derogatory stuff that, you know, we probably couldn't even say on this thing. But you know what I mean? When you're trying to low blow and take away. I guess I've been in enough arguments and I have fought with my mans enough that I know that it's like,
but the thing is that if it's not your man's, you understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
If it's somebody who you just like,
Michael was making it seem like they were like twins, like best buds for life type of shit.
And then Michael also said like he's done this before. It's just that it hasn't been a famous person. So he's done this to other people who have hit him up in his DMs and came at him sideways, and he's posted the DM.
Who has? Michael
Rappaport has done this before.
Yeah, but he does that. That's his thing, though.
Yeah,
that's
his thing. That's his shtick. That's what I'm saying. But it's KD. So then
to me, can I say something about Michael? And I'm not trying to take food out of homeboy's mouth. But if you and I said Donald Trump was an asshole or was a piece of shit or was anything like that, our fucking Twitter accounts would get fucking paused. Not him. He's making a living on throwing people under the fucking bus.
If we did Joe Biden, maybe. I don't think for Trump. Remember, the Twitter's already left us crazy.
My friend who got kicked off, a friend of mine got kicked off for saying something about a senator.
As I'm saying, he's a senator Democrat. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. See, there you go.
You understand what I'm saying?
So Republicans, you could talk shit about them.
Exactly.
Like you Gucci.
And that's been a problem with Twitter.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit.
Super.
Right there.
And then we had the whole, remember 5, 6, 7 episodes ago when they went and they made their own Twitter. And then it got kicked off everywhere.
By the way, when Trump opens his Twitter or his social, I'm jumping all over that shit.
That would be dope if he does do that.
Okay, so 50K you're okay with because of the shield. You're kind of siding a little bit with Michael Rappaport.
I'm just playing devil's advocate in the sense of if we're not they're not boys. They might be cordial with each other through media, but they're not brothers. They're not best friends. You know, you 10 plus years.
So you say that gives you a pass because homeboy wasn't really tight with him. If he was tight with him, you'd be more alarmed.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Then I wanted to ask, does this taint KD's legacy?
No,
right?
I don't know.
I mean, because
he balled out last night. I'm not worried about that.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I look at him as a basketball player, and that's all I care about. I don't care what most athletes do off the field.
Me neither. But I'm saying in the sense of because KD up until this point was like raised by a single mom, really nice boy.
But he's always remember he has burner accounts. He's got caught with the burner accounts before. He's got caught arguing with people. He had fake Twitter accounts
where he would talk shit.
Exactly, and then what happened one day? He got caught. He forgot to switch back to his normal account, and he was in his burner account. He was talking like it was himself. So he had burner accounts. And he still has them to this day. He says he still has them to this day. Wow. So he's had these things, you know, like he's had off the field stuff. But I don't, you know, that doesn't faze me. You know, what all happens off the field, he could smack 5 women, and that has nothing to do with him on the basketball court.
No, I get it, but you know how right now in social media and in the jury and the court of
Public
of
opinion.
the public, yeah, you're done. So, all right, but okay, cool. Because to be honest with you, I didn't give a fuck about this. I cared more so that the fact that he aired out the laundry like a female. I was like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, if this was between two men arguing, I would have been going back and forth.
No, for
Like,
sure. And again, I don't know what's happening in that moment in time. Who know, like if you going back and forth with somebody and you just got fired from your job, or you just found out your girl just cheated on you, or your mom's just died, or like the mental people like respond differently to different things. Like it's easy to say it, hindsight 50-50. Looking back, we have our thoughts collected. We're not in the situation. It's just like
I'm never screenshotting that shit and posting.
No, for sure. But I'm saying it's you. But I'm saying is like we don't.
You talk about the next person
in general. We don't.
in that moment.
Like even like we said right now, Monday. Kind of just backtrack real quick before we change gears. The Uber driver who passed away. Like we're saying from the outside looking in, I would have took my jacket off right away and threw it on. But all that shit was bang, 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 bang. Even in that moment, you see some shit about my wife. What kind of day was I having? Like we don't know.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I think
I'm not defending Michael. I thought
the same line, but we split.
I think what he did was a bitch ass move.
There you go.
I agree.
That's all I want.
But I could understand why somebody would go push to that level.
Yeah, thank you for educating me because I couldn't wrap my head around it. I think it was probably because the media was pushing it like they were best buds.
Of course.
So I'm like, damn, daddy, you do that to your man? Like, you should have at least manned up and still talk shit or been more of a man and be like, yo, let's meet up.
Mm-hmm.
Not to throw the fives, but if it came down to it, we could.
Yep.
But let's talk face to face because I think like you and me, that texting shit, that social media shit is for the birds, bro. If I want to talk to my man, I'm going to get on the phone or I want to see you in person because I want to look you in your eye and I want to see how many, because that's my question, right? Would he, not so much KD, because I'm sure KD would. But would Michael go, straight up? Because Michael be acting like he's super hard for the streets. And I know he's from NYC, but he be stunting like crazy.
Who knows? You're probably right.
Right. I'm just saying. All right, we're going to get out of this before we can get we just start calling these segments Don't Get Canceled. We're going to go to our favorite news or no news. And so that we can get this all chopped up beautifully and ready. Tatis is injured again. Now, I know what you're going to say. Definitely signed the contract in the right way. But is this cause for pause, and are we alarmed if we're San Diego ownership?
For sure. You're committed to somebody for 12 years. Well, no, 14 years, right? I think it is 14 years.
Forever, bro.
Basically, if his contract is up. I mean, he's up, but it sucks for him. It sucks for the organization. And I get, like, again, hindsight is 2020. It looks like he made the right decision to sign the big deal. Like it looks like it. Right? Yeah, so definitely news. I agree, it's news. Definitely news. It looks like he made the right decision to sign, but hindsight could be 2020. What if he bowled out this year? Could have got $500 million. Like we just it just happens. It just happens. Yeah, shit luck.
I say it's definitely news. My argument for this is like, damn, bro. I hope you're not made out of glass, my man. Now, granted, left arm injury. Oh,
non-throwing
right.
shoulder.
Yeah, so that's okay, right? I mean, I think after the season you could probably get surgery. I also think this. I don't know how many San Diego Padre games you watch, and I love his tenacity, but at times I wonder if he's doing too much. Like the other day, a couple of games ago when we first opened, he's running into the left fielder, and the left fielder pretty much had the ball. Like, I'm like, bro, I get that you're a phenom, but like you can't catch all the passes here, bro. Like, let your infield do what they're supposed to do. Like, he wants to play short and wants to play second and wants to play third base and wants to play outfield. I'm like, bro, you're the shortstop. You're already doing enough. Like,
but I guess that's what makes it him. You understand what I'm saying?
I get that. But he also almost breaks his legs sliding into second base, stealing, last year or 2 years ago. So I'm just nervous. I wonder if his camp should tell him to, like, I know he wants to play at 1,000, but maybe play at like 980 or something like that. So you can like not get too crazy. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. So this is another argument that seems to be coming up a lot on social. I spend like too much time on social media looking for news. Are super teams making the NBA boring, bro?
No news.
No news. Okay.
Because
You could give the chip to the Nets right now.
All these players, for sure. But all these players that people were complaining about are all washed up past their prime, who you were talking shit about them when they were on the old team.
Right.
So don't start stroking them when they're on a team that's actually going to be contending. You know,
that makes a lot of sense. I agree with
people were talking shit about Rondo going to the Clippers because Rondo was averaging 4 points and 2 assists and like 1 rebound. People took a shit about Blake Griffin saying he hasn't dunked in 2 years. People took a shit that LaMarcus Aldridge can't play no more. He's trash. Like, the only person who signs that team that can play who got hurt in the first fucking night was Andre Drummond. But stop complaining about teams being super teams. But you calling the guys who sign and get bought out of contracts washed up. The reason why they're getting bought out of contracts is because the organization doesn't want them anymore. So what do you want them to do? So if a guy who has already been in the league for 8 years, 9 years, already made $100 million, $150 million, you want him to go where? Where do you want him to go? It's not. He has the opportunity to go wherever he wants right now.
And maybe win a ring.
Exactly. And which the Nets look like they are going to do. Right. I don't see anybody being the Nets.
No, I agree with that.
I think it's Clippers Nets finals.
Really? Okay, that's fair. I gotta start watching some more Clipper basketball, but the Nets are just on another level. But yeah, I think maybe there's I would say news only because the fans, gear how the eyeballs are being watched, and I also think it's news because potentially maybe moving forward, washed up players won't be on super teams. And it's funny when we talk about the super team argument, right? So first super team was in the Celtics. Everybody thought KG was done and everybody thought Ray Allen was done, and that wasn't the case.
Exactly.
Putting them with Paul Pierce, they came through. Okay, LeBron, super team, Miami. No one really thought Dwayne Wade had anything left in the tank, right? And the same thing for Chris Bosh.
At the time, D Wade was still a top 5 player in the NBA.
I get you, but he was kind of on the down.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was just doing too much. Remember, he was getting injured a lot. He was the sole.
80% of D Wade is still better than 90% of anybody else.
I got you, but what I'm saying is, when we really look through a microscopic lens, these super teams are not the super teams like you're saying, right? Like, okay, now the Nets. Again, to bring Durant in it, Durant hasn't been 100% the last few years. He seems like he would be better served as an amazing off the bench player. Not trying to knock his skills or anything like that, but homeboy has a problem staying healthy, right? You brought up, Andre Jordan kind of washed up.
Is done. Yeah, he's not even playing now. The coaches did not play. He's not even coming off the bench now.
Right. And then now when you look at some of these other guys, Paul George, maybe, but Paul George after the broken leg hasn't been the same Paul George prior to it. So I just think that we're looking at this again through, like you were saying, the wrong lens.
Everybody's looking at names. Yeah, they're just looking at names.
They're looking at the jerseys, and they still think it's jersey of year 1, not of year 9.
Yep.
So more interesting news. I don't really know what to say to this. So news or no news, Josh Whedon's Justice League drama now resurfaces with Gal Gadot. You want me to elaborate more? So she, I can tell them by the faces. So apparently he wanted, I guess, her to be more of like a badasser kind of character and not so much like as loving as she kind of wants to come off. I don't know what that means. And so he threatened her career. But this is also off of the piggy bank of Ray Fisher saying that the production was toxic too. I'm just asking, news or no news, the fact that Whedon threatened to end Gadot's career.
To be honest, it's only news because I'm like, who the fuck is Whedon? Like.
So let's put some context to Whedon. Whedon is the writer and director of Buffy the Vampire Slayer on TV, which was a potentially amazing show to some people. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't that great. And then made the first Avengers. And I think the second. And then got kicked off, went to DC and does a terrible Justice League movie.
Yeah, like...
He also wrote Aliens 4. I mean, I don't know how much of his resume I got in my brain, but I think that was a lot. Right.
Yeah.
So no news. Yeah, I didn't think it was news either, but what I find interesting now, because you took it out of my notes last week, but motherfuckers right now with just leaky faucets. Like I was gonna call her Kim Cattrall, but she's not. Sharon Stone comes out and starts talking about the producers and everything, saying that they told her to remove her panties for the Basic Instinct scene. They told her to have sex with her co-stars. So I just find it news that a lot more of this stuff is surfacing, but maybe it's not. I mean, I guess it is news. For me, I'm not an actor or an actress, so I don't really care too much, right?
Definitely. Now,
okay, go ahead. What do you got?
News or no news? Alvin Kamara hasn't spent a dime of his money.
Total news. I think it's big news. I think he should be talking to more NFL players because most of them are broke by the time they get out. And what's another alarming stat about it is that running backs have the shortest lifespan in the NFL. Yep. So if anything, it behooves you to stack your chips. Now, I would love to know, I mean, has he signed the big contract or is he playing still his rookie contract?
No, he signed a big contract this past year.
Okay, so he's probably making $10 million a year. He seems like he's not slowing down. Mm-hmm. He really hasn't had a catastrophic injury as of this point. He's extremely dynamic. I just think that we should hear more stories like this, just because a lot of guys, all they do is bowl their money out.
I know,
and I'm
Gronk is another guy who he hasn't spent a dime of his NFL money.
So what I want to know is if you don't spend a dime of your money, right?
Or endorsements.
Got you. That makes sense.
All them endorsements. All the.
I was like, how you get paid?
All those, and then like if you're getting let's say you get a $50,000 payment to go to a club, Alvin Kamara is hosting. You can pay $50K. They fly you out. They pay for your hotel. They pay for all that shit to have you go out there.
Yeah, Gronk must be rich then, because that motherfucker was at the club all the time.
Exactly, and then for sure, hey, Gronk is coming 100,000 an event. 150,000.
Right.
And that's how that
he's
goes.
Probably selling tables over there. Like if you want to be in Gronk's section, that's $50K. He probably gets a piece of the bar, or maybe the door, or however that's broken down.
That's how it is.
What do you think? I would say news. What do you think for the situation?
I think it's news just because it should show other athletes coming up that you can do better with your job. Do better at your job. Do better with your money. I always thought, like, if I was an agent, a sports agent, I would have a dope ass financial advisor with a dope ass resume to come to these guys. So say, listen, you're about to get drafted to the NBA, NFL, MLB. Here's my financial advisor. I highly recommend this person. Look at his track record. Look at the athletes this guy works with. Look at how much money these athletes are making post their career, and even during their career. Set yourself up. While you're doing it, even like look at LeBron. LeBron has built an empire while playing the game, which most athletes don't do. Build empires while they're playing. They normally build it after they're playing. And KD's kind of doing the same thing too. He has his media company. He's doing it while he's playing as well. I think Andre Iguodala has a lot of money in the tech space. He's doing it while he's playing. So you have a lot of these athletes who are kind of doing it while they're playing. But a lot of these up and coming guys, they should, keep an eye on that. Keep, investing in real estate, investing in their money in, long-term assets instead of going to get the new Gucci bag or the new Louis bag or the new Lambo or whatever, or the next $700,000 chain. But don't worry about shit like that.
No, I agree. I think that's really good. What else we got? I know
okay.
It's kind of a little weak sauce, so I can't.
News or no news? You have the billionaires. What's that about?
Right. All right, so I just put it on the list because Kim K is a billionaire. Okay. I didn't see Yeezy was on it, but she's ranked 247 on the list with just a bill. I thought her sister was a billionaire too, but I just wanted to throw out some of the rankings. I think Bezos being a billionaire is no news. Elon Musk being a billionaire is no news. I think who else I put on there? What's my man's name?
Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett.
Zuck is 5 and Buffett is 6. I think that's news for those guys. I think Kim K, probably not news too.
Yeah, no news. She's not important. Right? She's not important at all.
But it's impressive to think about what someone has been able to do with a TV show, a clothing line, a sex tape, and all the stuff to get to a billionaire. But speaking of billionaires, did you see the Catch Me Outside girl just got I don't know.
She got $1 million in 6 hours from the OnlyFans.
Bro, are we missing the mark here? Do we need an OnlyFans page? You know what I mean?
So my girl, get on it.
No, but I told her she ain't listening to me, man. I'm like, look, put on a mask. We'll get you a shirt on. We'll cover up all the tats. bro, I would take a third of $1 million, bro.
Word. Definitely. All right, so
All
now
right,
that wraps that up.
Yep, it concludes the news and no news. It was a little short this week because there wasn't that much going on. But we'll definitely I'll be hitting the lines a little bit harder next week to get some more stuff.
And we're gonna go around the leagues. We're gonna talk about something that's not on here. I want to start off with.
Tell me, go ahead. I love it when
I don't know if you've heard. Draymond Green comes out this past week and says that all these women should stop complaining about equal pay. He comes out and he says, how about you go to these companies who are supposedly about women empowerment and women being there and tell them to pay more in sponsorship for your league. Pay more money to grow your league, to empower you and to empower your game. Stop coming out and bitching about, oh, the NBA makes more than us and the U.S. men's soccer team makes more than us and blah, 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 blah. So what are your thoughts on that?
This is very interesting because for sure I'm about to get canceled right now. Okay, so I was just talking to somebody who I thought was a little bit delusional. First of all, the Equals Women's Pay Day was a few weeks ago. Kudos for them to, I guess, having a holiday. The talk was led by an Olympian soccer female player and talking about on how there should be equal pay. All right, let's look at this. Let's break this down. Because I tried to break it down to my man, and he wasn't understanding what I'm saying. First of all, let's be clear. In this country, right, there is equal pay. Okay? If a boy and a girl go to McDonald's and get a job, the boy doesn't get $17 because he's a boy, and the girl doesn't get $10 because she's a girl. Wherever the minimum wage is what the minimum wage is. Okay? In the state of California and New York, let's speak specifically to, because that's what we know the best. In the state of California, it is 14 and change, the minimum wage. I don't know how much is it in California, but at these, let's say, lower level jobs, everybody gets paid the same. Now, I will see you and I will raise you. I was just talking to my wife about this. In the bar industry, again, something that I'm privy to, women make more than men. Women, I say it again, women make more than men, okay? Because no old dude who wants to spend his social security check at the bar is going to sit and talk to me hours about baseball. But he will sit and spend dollars to watch this young lady's figure the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I have lost jobs. I have been more qualified and more knowledgeable. I've lost jobs because the woman was more attractive. Okay, let's take another spin to this, okay? We just said a girl made $1 million in 6 hours. Where's my equal pay? If I shove a dildo up my ass, I might not even make a fucking quarter.
Exactly.
Okay? Now, this argument goes to, I think, higher up positions.
Not
right?
even.
Hold on, but feel me on this, all right? I know we were talking about it, but this is what they're saying, right? Because now I think
wrong,
the big
after you finish your thought, I'll clarify.
Right. So let's say to the higher ups, right? And so they argue. We're not even getting to where I want to get to. They're arguing that it's like a good old boys club, and that's usually referring to white males, right? Because we can't even get into that fucking circle either, right? Latinos and blacks, we're not even invited to that fucking party because if your daddy didn't buy you, the library in Harvard, you ain't down, right? So we're already excluded out of that group. Okay, so what I'm saying is that okay, maybe there could be some kind of an issue there. I think that the real issue is that a female athlete wants to get paid the same amount of money a male athlete does. And I think that that's really like the overseeing argument because the last time I checked, I mean, does Taylor Swift make more or less or the same than Drake does? Because I think Taylor Swift is getting paid like a motherfucker. Yep. Okay. Right. So Drake is getting paid like a motherfucker too, but Drake probably makes less if you could believe that because Taylor Swift shit is PG and Drake is saying motherfucker. So the EP, the LP's got the explicit, lyrics on it. You're not getting paid that much. I think that the argument now that they're really trying to like pound home is for male and female athletes. Now this is going to sound terrible, but I've said it the same thing when it comes to college. Okay. So basketball, baseball, football plays scholarships for kids to go to school, right? You also have scholastic scholarships. Yep. I'm sure you also have chess scholarships. But when I'm playing football and my number is in the fucking store and is selling and I'm selling out to crowds, then I think that things are a little different, bro. Yep. I'm actually literally putting the school on my back and bringing attendance in. I mean, I'm actually making it more popular to come to the school.
Exactly.
If you're on the chess team, no offense, bro, no one gives a fuck. Okay? And so for the hate, like, that comes with that, I don't understand. Now, back to what you're going to do, because I'm going to try to set you up here. The biggest problem seems to be with the NBA and the WNBA because there's no female baseball team.
Nope.
There's no female football team. Right?
They have those lingerie football leagues that never take off.
Right.
And the bitches are naked on the field, but nobody wants them. No men want vast majority of men don't want to watch women half naked playing football.
Okay. Soccer. Males, there was females. Not enough attendance, they got canceled. Okay, you know what's crushing right now? Female MMA.
Yep.
Okay, if I was trying to switch gears, fuck it. They don't want to watch basketball. They're making mad money. MMA, look at Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's killing it.
She even said it. A reporter came out in the audience and was like, "Do you feel like you're getting a lot of money? Is it right that you're getting a lot of money?" And she goes, "Yeah, my pay reflects what I bring, and I'm the highest grossing MMA fighter, male or female, in the sport. That's why I'm getting paid the big bucks. That's what I give. Dana White's giving me most of the money because when I'm on the card, we sell 100 million pay-per-views.
Right.
When I'm not on the card, we sell 15.
So LeBron James versus Kevin Durant is going to sell out a stadium.
Of course.
I'm sorry, but maybe I know the LA Sparks. I don't even know another team.
Exactly, and it's not your fault.
I'm not being an asshole. I'm just stating the facts, kid.
Yep.
You know, and Draymond Green, to bring it back full circle, I think he has a point.
Yep.
And not only that, why are you not pressing all these fucking companies? Because the NFL sells pink jerseys like a motherfucker. They sell pink cleats. They sell pink bats in motherfucking baseball. They sell pink everything. It's okay for them to have breast cancer awareness, but none of these people are looking into this and trying to give you more. I mean, it's like us. Whether we were a male or a female show, it's about popularity. If we sucked, it wouldn't matter.
Exactly.
We're going to get paid because of our popularity. Now, another thing that I'll put into this lens. Right now, female podcasters are crushing it. I got to go compete with that.
Exactly.
Right? So, I mean, I
your equal pay on that? Why are you not getting the same money that they're getting?
So I just don't understand. I think that Draymond has a point. I think that the female soccer organization, they're great. They won the gold, but this is going to be a shot to them. There was probably 2 teams in the whole Olympics that was at your level. Like, you telling me North Korea is going to put out a team? Come on, bro.
Okay,
China?
So let's really unfold this into layers.
Go ahead.
Okay, first thing is, I don't know if you've seen this actually happened. People could go to Google and look this up.
Okay,
The USA women's team played an under 15 boys team, and the boys team beat the USA women's team in a scrimmage.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
In a scrimmage.
Yes. So
there's a meme out there saying, "Where's the equal pay for the boys that are 15 and under?" Right? That's a meme.
We're probably getting canceled off.
So let's start there, right? Also, there's an Olympic sprinter, female. You go to her, she holds all the world records. Her name is escaping me right now. She holds all the world records for fastest time. 200 boys, high school boys, ran a faster time than her. So when they want equal pay with men versus women, it's not an equal value just because of the entertainment of it. So now if the women's league was generating 10 million viewers a game, and the NBA was generating 5 million viewers a game, and the men were still making more money than the women, and then I'll be like, yo, that's fucked up. The women have a case. Women are getting 300,000 a game in the NBA finals of people watching. 400,000, 500,000. The NBA is getting 5 million, 6 million, 7 million. There was also another thing where it shows the WNBA finals had 390,000 people watch it. One YouTuber video reacting to funny shit had 3 million views. So it's just about what people want to see and people want to watch. It has nothing to do with men or women. I'm guaranteeing you more women strippers make more money than men strippers.
100%.
It has nothing to do with either woman or male. Okay, now to debunk your homeboy, I don't know. He needs to go read a couple of things.
I know. He's
In
probably
any
watching.
higher level, any high status, lawyer, judge, CEO, vice president, whatever, you get paid for the same exact thing when you come in entry level. Now, here was the differentiator. Men are more aggressive and more likely to negotiate their salaries at the interview. Women aren't. Women are more agreeable than men. Men are less agreeable. So if I go into an interview and they say, here's 100,000, I'm like, I want 125,000. And then they negotiate with me, whatever. Let's say I end up at $112,000 a year. A woman goes for the same exact position. The starting salary is 100,000. If she doesn't ask for a compensation and she just starts at 100,000, that has nothing to do with the guy. That just has that she didn't go out and try to ask for a raise at the beginning of the interview or the hiring process. So that's where it gets conflated, because people try to say, oh, look, he came in, he's making more money. No, then I flip it on them. So let's say, I always say, do you think it's as soon as a person gets hired that they starting off more than you? So let's say if a male comes in who's gonna get hired for a VP job, and a woman gets hired for a VP who got hired 5 years ago for a VP job. So now this woman has gotten 5 years under her belt of raises, bonuses, moving up in a company. Now she's gonna have, let's say she started at 100,000. 5 years later, she's making 125,000. Now let's say if they hire a brand new guy for the same exact job she had, and he gets starting off at 100,000. So technically, she's making more money than him for the same exact job. Now, is it fair to this woman or man who's been working in this company for 5 to 10 years, busting his ass, getting raise after raise after raise, for this newbie to come in and get paid the same exact money as you? I don't think that's right or it's fair, unless they negotiated for that number. But people don't like to talk about that. Now, men are willing to move. Women aren't willing to move for jobs. Men are willing to go to do more dangerous jobs than women. Women don't like to do dangerous jobs. Women go to the medical field. Why? Because they're more caring. They just gravitate to that for whatever reason. Teaching, nursing, things along those healthcare workers. And men are willing to sacrifice more. I'm not gonna go out with you tonight. I'm going to work. I'm gonna put in these extra 5-10 hours of overtime. Women are not or less likely to put in overtime. Less likely to move, less likely to ask for a raise. So all these are contributing factors of the pay gap. So when people go, in these higher up in these companies and stuff like that, it's all bullshit. It's all just people virtual signaling, because the data shows that it's all many factors of to why men and women get paid differently. They just want to emphasize on that as he's a male and she's a woman. That's all it is. And anybody who doesn't know that, then you're just an idiot and want to be about the woke culture, because that's not how this works. Do some fucking research. The research is out there. People don't get paid starting off at the same thing. So like right now, should we get paid what Joe Rogan makes?
No.
Per episode, just because we're men? No,
Right.
wait. I identify as a woman now, so I should get the same exact money as him, because we're doing the same thing as podcasting. That's not how this works.
I think it's back to what we were talking about, man, the trophy stuff. And I also think too, I can't speak so much for the corporate stuff, but a lot of that stuff, I'm sure is in black and white. So, for sure, if that is there, you got to look it up, and the writing's on the wall, or the writing's,
Or even if what you said with the people who have their cliques, right? Don't work for them then. Go find yourself a company that holds the same values that you hold and that you want to work for. So stop going to Goldman Sachs. Stop going to go work for ExxonMobil. Stop going to work for these guys who don't want you in their circles anyway. Stop bitching about that stuff. Go work with who you want to work with.
I also feel like, this is another thing too, and we've talked about it before, but women don't support women, right? Mm-hmm. So like, if you're trying to bring up your viewership, where's the viewership for y'all for your own thing?
Yep.
Right. So like for me, men gamble on sports more. men
Yep.
consume more sports. So I mean, they're basically trying to cut a space into their own, where it's like, I get that you're athletic, but I really don't know what to say.
Like I
Because
think we spoke about this last week or the last podcast. Candace Parker looked at Shaq like he was stupid for saying, "Why don't you lower the rims?" Like she gave him this look like, "I'm too good for that." Like you're not too good for that. Nobody's watching your stuff to the magnitude that you want them to watch it.
it's gotta be fun. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, and when you have NBA players donating money to the league, so your league could pay your salaries, that's a problem.
I agree.
You as an individual and your the WNBAPA should be at any woman products. Oriel, what's up? Was $100 million
on that motherfucker, right?
You put Kim Kardashian in her lips. The any of those shows that have anything women related.
Ellen.
Yeah,
I mean,
why is the WNBA not constantly on Ellen or on Oprah or any of these women who have big ass platforms?
Why isn't these girls with these big ass platforms buying, floor seats?
Yeah, or Dove. Why is it not? Why is Dove not in there? Like the women's line Dove. You got anything hair shit? I'm trying to think of just women products. Why are not all these women products dumping a lot of money into the league? Because nobody's watching, and it's basic economics and it's basic math, and people just don't want to hear the truth, and it sucks. It is what it is.
I'm telling you, I'm already fucking on the opposite side of this seat because I'm a trade professional in the field that I'm good at, and there are tons of women that make way more money than me.
Yeah, for sure.
And they got a job. I don't even have a job at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So. I'm on a different plane with this whole discussion. Like I said, I think it's very much geared to just sports, and the only two sports that want to get the love in this department seem to be women's soccer and women's NBA, because at the end of the day, MMA is doing just fine, and nobody's clamoring for a baseball league or an NFL league of women.
Nope.
Right? Now, do I think it's progressive that we're getting female refs in the NFL? That's great. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think this equal pay thing might be a little bit, I'm not going to say hocus pocus, but a bit of a mirage, because I think when you got to literally look at sectors.
It's delusion. It's literally delusion. Delusion. Because like I had this conversation with my girl. In California, they wanted to do something where it's against the law not to have a certain percentage of minorities on your board, and you had to have a certain amount of women on your board. Now, what I told her was like, "Do you think that's right?" She said, "Yeah, that's fine. I think that's okay." Blah blah blah. I said, "Okay, cool." Now, let's say you made a company and you had it all female. And your company was thriving because it was all female. It was making billions of dollars a year, and it was all female. And then the state comes in and says, "Hey, you have to have 30 or 40% male on your board." You would be upset about that because you built your company with this culture of women. If you would be upset if the government told you had to put men or diversify your board to just for the optics of people. That's not how business works. Money doesn't fucking care what color you are. I can guarantee you that right now. Money doesn't care. People are making money green, blue, orange, fat, skinny, black, Asian, all of it. They're all making money. You just got to find out how to make the money. And these women in these sports, the sports are not making the money. And it's simple economics. Like,
yeah, and I still think, like, from a collegiate standpoint, they're getting the same free education that other guys are doing, right? The same boys that are able to go to Baylor, the same girls are able to go to Baylor. The same guys that are going to Kentucky, the same girls are going to Kentucky. So, I mean, for the most part, you are getting a free college, ride. So it does make sense for you to do sports. But right now, it doesn't seem like the space right now is calling for female sports. Now, it might change. Right?
Exactly.
Like I said, female MMA is killing.
Exactly.
Female MMA is destroying. Like, at first, it was a little tough for me because I don't know why fine women got to hit each other. But when I started seeing the level of competition and these girls got better hands, better ground technique than some of the other dudes, it was actually more interesting. And like you just said, homegirl is selling out arenas.
Yep. Yep.
selling out arenas. I mean, look, oh my gosh, the young lady that just got canceled from Mandalorian, she was great. Yeah, Gina Carraro. Gina Carraro was great in the MMA.
Yep.
She was one of the first leaders.
Yep.
Like I said, I think this is another thing too. It's different, right? And this is another argument that people look at. I think that the actors and the actresses shit is another argument, right? Because The Rock makes 30 million, but Gwyneth Paltrow makes 10 million.
But The Rock does $1 billion in sales at the box office.
I get it. What I'm saying is that I think that this argument is very shifted to a certain group of women that want the equal pay, that are not getting it in with their competitors at that point. Because for a large point of it, let's say 70%, everybody's equal pay.
It's 100%. It's all based on your production and what you agree to as an individual. Now, if me and a woman went for a job and I was settled and I said, I'll take this job for 90 grand, and she comes in and she says, no, I want $115,000, and she gets paid $110,000. She's making 20 grand more than me for the same job, but she had the guts to go and ask for that salary when she was getting hired.
I also think that due to COVID, there's way more women making more money than dudes. There's a lot of dudes at home right now not making shit.
For sure.
The dad and the Mr. Mom and all that other shit. But before you blow a gasket, let's finish up this around the league stuff.
For sure.
And we'll get into Cherry, because I definitely want to spend some time to reach out to the folks and get everybody out there so we can get some more socials, so we can start growing this audience larger and larger. So I should have probably put this together, but I put it in this only because I wanted to see, what's up with Aaron Judge, man? What's up with the Yankees? Why are the Yankees never healthy? Like, should we fire the fucking medical staff? This is getting ridiculous. Giancarlo is always injured. Judge is injured. I mean, everybody's fucking injured. Gary Sanchez is injured. Every Yankee's always injured. What is the fucking problem? Are they on juice? They got to be on juice. I'm being serious. He has another sword oblique or toward oblique. That means you're using way too much torque. Stop trying to fucking hit the ball like in the parking lot. Hit a single. Hit a double.
The issue too is, I think a couple of years ago, John Smoltz brought this up, and he says these guys are just too much in shape. Their bodies are wound up too tight. So for the mechanics and the movements of baseball, you shouldn't be that fit. You should be in shape, but you shouldn't be fucking jacked.
Yeah, you
all
can't
your
be
muscles tight. You know, he probably ripped, and your muscles being so tight, and you always turning, like, or throwing the ball like in this weird angle. Who knows? You're already exhausting your muscles from lifting weights. So let's start there. You're exhausting your muscles from lifting weights, and then whatever motions you're doing, whatever dives you're doing, whatever slides you're doing, that all is all compounding on everything. Then on top of that, they make you pay 197,000 baseball games on top of it all. 17,000 back-to-backs. You're playing 4 nights in a row. Or 3 nights in a row every day.
So one thing, because you talk about the oh my god, the union for the MLB being awesome. These guys gotta argue about this. They gotta argue about these games, bro. That sounds crazy. I don't even think it's natural. 160 fucking games.
Yep.
What the fuck are we doing here?
It should be around 90 to 80 games. It should be around there.
Yes. Even a hundo. I'll take a hundo. You do 50,
fine.
the break, 50. We done. Yep. And we go to the playoffs.
I'm fine with that too. And then like people always like even with the NBA, I've always said this, and there's the same argument that kind of trickles down from the one we just had. It's all about eyeballs. All about eyeballs. If you
beats, baby.
If the NFL, even though they just jacked it up to 17 games starting this season coming up,
I'm not even put that in the fucking news or no news segment,
which is crazy. We could talk about that after this. The fact that they could have 17 games, but the MLB has 162 and the NBA has 82. If you shorten the seasons of the other two leagues and make it a sense of urgency, and it puts emphasis on the regular season. It puts emphasis that, we have to get a good record. We have to get a good spot here. We can't take this Tuesday night game off because it's going to, diminish. We could go from the 2nd seed to the 3rd seed, or the 3rd seed to the 6th seed if we lose the game today.
I agree.
It creates a sense of urgency. It creates a sense of urgency for me, the consumer. Like, oh shit, we
every game matters now.
We 2 games back. We 3 games back. It's
right.
like we're it's a sense of urgency. That's why NFL's king, and then NCAA football is number 2 because it's short. It's shortened. It's one or 2 or 3 losses. You're done.
Look at what we just finished witnessing it. Well, look at what March Madness did.
Yep.
Back-to-back games. That was it. 2 weeks. Win or go home. That shit probably had the most viewership on the goddamn planet.
Yep.
It was a 3-week season.
Especially that everybody's home.
Right.
Yeah, like it's a dope thing. Like I do enjoy a series, but it's a good thing that they NBA kind of took that a little bit of March Madness, where the last 2 the 9th seed and the 10th seed get to play the 8th seed. Like those playing games, which is basically what March Madness is. And those shits were dope last year. Like, and we're gonna see what happens this year. You give more teams opportunities to get into the playoffs, and
I just think these really rich billionaires, bro, they just want all of the sponsor money, and they're afraid that they're not going to get the same amount of dollars if they shrink the league down. But I think you would get a better product. You would have healthier players. You would have more tenacity. You'd get all the eyeballs. Every game would count. Look at what happened last year, bro. People watch baseball. Nobody fucking watches baseball. Nope. But because the season was shortened, everybody was watching. Same thing with the basketball. Everybody was dialed in. Like, I almost feel like nobody learned anything from fucking COVID.
Look at the NFL. Why do you think they have the balls to say you want a 30-second spot in the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah. Right.
$5 million starting price.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because you have the eyeballs. Yep. If nobody was watching the Super Bowl, you can't charge $5 million starting for a fucking commercial in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, create a sense of urgency for the regular season. Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think? You think 17 is going to help or hurt?
I think it's the sweet spot, but I definitely think it's gonna. I think people are gonna complain for the first 3 or 4 years. I think it's gonna be something that's a little odd. I think a lot of these guys who are chasing greatness are gonna be in a better spot, and you're gonna have to put a lot of asterisks next to a lot of all-time records now. For a lot of guys who are going to have the advantage of the extra game. Now they're going to have extra people going to actually be able to play 16 games instead of just playing 15 games. A lot of rushing titles are going to be tainted. Receiving yards, receptions, a lot of, you're going to see in the next 5 years to 10 years, a lot of records are going to be broken because of the extra game. So it's going to be a little different. I guarantee it's going to affect the contracts with the incentives. Because these guys are putting, let's say you catch 100 balls a year, now they're gonna be like, all right, now you have to catch 125 balls a year if you want an extra $2 million. So that's gonna mess up the incentives. It's gonna make a lot of things a little bit more difficult to get. What do you think about for the fans? Do you think the fans are going to be excited to get another game because that's more fantasy? That's another game to wager on. I mean, Vegas has got to be licking their chops. Oh yeah, for sure.
And gambling.
Like I said, I think we're not going to see the ramifications of this until 4 years from now. So there's studies of how many more people got injured.
That's the thing that I'm actually the most alarmed about. Because we can't even keep these guys healthy for 15 weeks.
Exactly. So I think that's what's gonna be the more alarming. Now, who knows? Maybe it goes down. Who knows? What if it's a good thing? What if the 17 games is actually a good? We don't know yet. We don't know. We don't know. What if is a bye week gonna be 12 days instead of 10 days? No. What are gonna be how the bye weeks are gonna be?
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I always thought that a bye week should be after that Thursday night game. You should be. Your bye week starts that way, and then you have almost a full 2 weeks.
Also, when you decide to go to London, because I have no fucking clue why we even trying to build a following in Europe.
Well, the thing over there, they pay for anybody. They don't give a fuck what the team is.
I get that, but I feel like if you're a team that's gotta hurt you. If you play a Thursday night game and then you on Monday night, or you play Sunday night.
They don't do that. They don't do that. They don't do that.
Okay, so let's say you play. Let me see what would be closer. You play the Monday night game and then you play the Sunday night game, but the Sunday night game the Sunday game is in Europe. That's still a short week. That's still a lot of travel.
To be honest, I don't think they've ever done it that way.
No, okay.
So I would have to look it up. I think they do a good job of
Okay, so
Make it. I think.
I don't know why can't we play exhibition games? The NBA plays exhibition games. Why can't they?
I think those games in London, that week, that is their bye week. I think most of the time.
You know, it'd be interesting. Why don't they just put the Pro Bowl there? That way they can see all the players, and then it's all good, and then everybody wins. You get to see the pack. You get to see our best players. It's going to be fun. It's going to be high scoring.
So it's not even like.
That's what I'm saying. But first of all, they don't even look. They love their football. They don't really give a fuck about our football. I'm just saying that at least they see the best of the best players, and it's able to sell more jerseys. Let's get on because we're running against the clock, and I still want to get some other things here. Again, my fault. I don't know. Maybe you know because you're so dialed. Why did Paul Pierce get fired from ESPN?
Because so here's the tricky part. He got fired because he was recording himself on his own IG live, playing poker, having women in the background, strippers, shaking their ass, and one giving him a massage.
Okay.
And supposedly has bad optics from ESPN since he's hired by ESPN.
Yeah, Buena Vista doesn't want that shit, bro.
But peep this though.
Tell me, I like. Oh,
let's say you're Paul Pierce. You're getting a massage. You titties and asshole behind you. But if I'm recording it on my IG live, recording you in my IG live, that's fine.
So if it was the girls posting it, it was cool, but it was because he posted it.
He did it on his own personal account.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, listen, definitely double standard. Back to what we were saying earlier. I just say that there's no way now that these companies are not signing contracts with social media.
But that's all fuckboy dumb shit. Like whatever.
That's the way it goes now. And then especially look, fucking Deshaun Watson is under fire still. Homeboy is not looking good. So maybe having a massage thing probably was terrible optics too. You know what I mean? Like no company right now is gonna take a chance on you if you're that. Like if you're already blown up and you're trying to be with another place that's blown up, they ain't fucking with you. If you're like a small fry, like I'm even wondering if what Howard Stern did before would have been able to do now. There's no way. There's no way.
But if I'm just
like Pat Anderson, having all the when everybody forgets, the fucker guy went on TV one time and now he's like the sweetest thing since sliced bread. But he used to do crazy shit with chicks. They used to literally have like a laser pointer. And the dudes would be like, well, you're a little fat here and you're a little terrible here. And they would all play the game. So what I'm saying is it backs the story up more that, again, Paul Pierce, why are you fucking with your money, bro?
But he don't care. He got $100+ million probably.
Look, I get it.
200 million. Like he don't got a care in the world.
First of all, you're not Dan Balzerian. Why are you trying to be Dan Balzerian? Okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like I get it that you got the Fetty and you could do whatever you want. But then you can't be,
But now look,
you can't be on the front lines.
But peep this, that canceled, right? He got fired from that. Now he got an offer to stream on a porn site for $250,000 an episode.
He's gonna crush.
Talking about sports with women shaking ass and titties out everywhere. He's gonna make a killing.
Yeah,
he's gonna make a fucking killing.
I already got something cooking up my sleeve on that front too, because I'm just telling you that's just where it's at right now. And I think, what? Maybe this is another sign, another thing that we're not reading. Maybe we need to leave these traditional media houses, and maybe we need to go to Bang Bus, or we need to go to MILF Hunter and say, hey, bro, why not? Is not MILF Hunter Sports or Bang Bus Sports? I mean, Barstool Sports kind of has not that CD of a rep, but. Maybe we just got to look at things differently, right? Like, I mean, listen, if girls that are 19 years old can make $1 million in 6 hours, then the whole view is fucked up. And sex sells.
Yep.
Right? Like, we forgot about that.
Let's also change. Look at this. I don't know if you know about the Lil Nas X video. Have you watched that?
Of course, I was gonna put it in the notes, but I thought it was old news. Which one you want to go about? Him lap dancing the Satan,
we can talk about both. We can talk about both real quick. So we have him shaking his ass, whatever, on the devil, which I had no problem with the video. People had a fucking hard time with it.
Wasn't that bad? It could have been worse.
WAP was worse.
Correct.
Like, come on. But it's a black kid first of all, and then he's a gay black kid.
Oh, that's it.
So, but then he's fine because he's a gay black kid on a left platform, which is YouTube.
Right.
So it's not offensive because his video's up on YouTube because he's gay and he's black.
Right. Which is progressive of them to put it up
and leave it alone. Yes. But then you got a straight male playing cards in his own personal whatever, and he gets fired. And he wasn't slapping asses. He wasn't like girls wasn't in like on top of him. She was in the background. Like, what do you want? Like, it's whatever. But people pick and choose whatever.
I just think that right now Buena Vista is not going to go under any fire like that because ESPN, we should stop calling it ESPN. ESPN is called Disney because
well,
that's
sure.
what. Yep. And Disney is not going to fuck with that shit. Okay, because they want I mean, they don't even curse in the Marvel movies, right? Like it almost blew my mind when I seen in Justice League at the end, the movie you hate so much. When he's like, I will fucking kill you. I was like, what just happened? Right? I'm so used to the Marvel experience that we don't curse in cartoons. I mean, we don't curse in like PG right now. You don't even get that anymore. There's no F-bombs. And we grew up watching all types of crazy stuff with foul language. So, I mean, I don't know. So, Little Nas, not offensive to me. Happy he did his shit. I thought the song originally was okay. It's growing on me. The beat is fire. The only thing, I mean, I get what his message was. I just thought that it could have been a little bit more creative, like do more stuff in hell, not just going down a pole the whole song. But that's just me.
For sure.
I'm just looking at it at that. But that's definitely fucked up with Paul Pierce. See, I read it. I just want to make sure you clarified it for me because I didn't understand. I don't know if he got fired and then he posted the shit after to be like, fuck yeah. But okay, that makes more sense. Poor guy. But I hope, Paul, take the job. Take the job, cuz. Take the job. I'm with you, baby. Hopefully we get you on the show. All right, and then real quick before we go to Critics Corner, is he back or what? He just punked Michael Rappaport, goes 5 for 5 off the bench.
17 points.
What? For 5 for 5? God damn.
17 points, 5 for 5. It's over. Unless
catastrophic injury, right?
Catastrophic injury, book it. Nets win. I think Nets beat Clippers in 6.
Wow. So LBJ and the team are done, right? Because they just
I think they're gonna play. They'll be, I think when the closer it gets, depending on where they fall on the seeding, but depending on how fast he comes back.
Right. They said end of April.
Yeah. So I think, but if they go on a 10-game losing streak, I think he comes back sooner than that.
Okay.
Earlier
and
than that.
Supposedly coming back sooner too.
Exactly. I think Davis was come back before LeBron, but we'll see.
And they got Aldridge now, right?
No. They got Drummond.
Drummond. Okay, I just want to make sure.
He got hurt in the first game.
Yeah, I know. He got his toe fucked up. I gotta stop watching Twitter because they be putting fucking jerseys on these fools, and I'm like, what? I keep getting caught. Good for you, Twitter people. You guys are so smart and so good with the graphics. All right, cool. The show's about to come to an end real quick, but before we piece it out, we're gonna do what we normally do: a little Critics Corner. I still think, are we 2-4 still? Right? Because no, we're 1-4.
1-4.
We might be 2-4 this week.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking my man might have digged it, but I'm not sure. So this week we're gonna be doing the movie Cherry, an Apple exclusive. Tom Holland, my favorite acting brother duo. I wish my brother and me could do something like this, but me and my other brother doing something like this. Anthony and Joe Russo directed it. What did you think?
I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think it was great. I thought the directing was fire. I thought the directing 10 out of 10. I thought the writing was 10 out of 10. I thought
that's fire then.
But let me tell you why. I thought it was a little too long.
Okay.
I thought 2.5 hours a little too long. I thought some of the spoiler alert, if you're watching or listening to this, I thought some of him like buttering up the shorty and being with the shorty in the beginning or the college shit, that was like an hour of the movie. And I thought like, okay, I get it. Like they're about to fall in love. They're gonna love each other. I didn't need to see an hour of that. Like okay,
that's fair. That's fair criticism.
I thought like I said, I thought the directing and the writing was dope, but I thought the story of it was a little notebooky, just more gruesome, more dark, notebook kind of feel. It was, to me, it was clearly a romance movie more than anything else. I thought they didn't show enough of the army shit. I thought it was like maybe 30 minutes of the movie, which I think they could have expounded a little more. I got a little more, like I kind of woke up. It got a little more interesting for me there, just because it was kind of just too much lovey-dovey for me in that sense. I think I could take romantic movies. I could take them in maybe an hour and a half.
90 minutes, baby.
90 like, that's the sweet spot especially for a romance movie.
I think it's a sweet spot for movies, period.
This movie was 2.5 hours, and I was like,
yeah.
You know, then they did the end, like them being on drugs. That was another like 45 minutes or 50 minutes. Like it felt like that was a long ass time. Like okay, I get it.
It was a
You know, like I was like, I get it. They're on drugs. I get it. It's like opioid. I get it. Heroin. He robbed like 92 banks.
I know he was
like,
busy.
I was like, okay, I get it. Like, it was a little bit extra. I thought I also thought it was like he got out of jail pretty easy, pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, we won't say why.
You know, like
you know how it goes.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's my thought about my thoughts on it.
So is it like a tie, or is it you considering it a good movie? One.
Yes, it's a good movie. We could put it in
5.
We could put we 2 and 4. We could put it in the,
so out of 5 stars, how many? 4?
Like 3.5, 4.
From 1 to 10, 7?
Like 7. Yeah, I would say like a 7.
All right, so you pretty much touched on all the things that I thought were problematic with the film. I thought it was awesome. First of all, Tom Holland, I think, showed incredible range for being a guy that's supposedly Spider-Man. I mean, this guy played a drug addict. He played an army medical professional. Some of his other movies that have just come out recently, he's been all over the place. I mean, I'm projecting this kid to be the next Tom Cruise. He's absolutely fantastic. It's really hard to take his eyes off of him. I dig the chemistry of him and the young lady. I thought they probably could have picked somebody else, but I thought that it was probably better that they had a no-namer. It was definitely a long film. Must have been the director's cut by the Russos. For me, on the Russo side of things, because I think they did write it and direct it, this shows, again, incredible range on their behalf. They did Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. That was a straight-to-Netflix film that I thought was pretty good, but I also believe, like you're saying, a little bit long. I mean, now it seems like movies need to be 2 hours plus, when I don't think that's entirely true. I think you should be able to trim the fat, but I understand as a creator, sometimes it's your baby, and you want to give people the way you truly see it. But I agree. The military part was probably the best part of the whole entire film. I even thought that there was parts, I know they were trying to build chemistry with the guys. Some of the talking and some of the military shit of them like being homies too was a little long too. I think they could have spliced it down a little bit and it probably would have been fucking sensational. But overall, I really dig what the Russos are doing here. I mean, to do Avengers, not to do Extraction, which was an all-action film, and not to do like an action drama film. I just think that these guys are on fire. There's nothing that they can't do. I think Tom Holland is well on his way. I think I was nervous because I thought that Spider-Man was going to be the only thing that he did. I can't believe his camp let him do drugs and just look and act and behave in the way he did. I think he totally sold it for me as a drug addict and someone who was off on the edge. The only thing that I didn't like that you didn't mention, that kind of plays a little bit about the prison thing. I thought the happy ending shit was a little too American, because that's not how the real world works. I think it would have been more prolific if she OD'd and died, which she did, but she didn't die. I thought it would have been. I thought it would have hit harder, right? Because DMX is gonna die. You know, Demi Lovato said she almost died. You know, Kurt Cobain did die. Heath Ledger died. Like, we gotta make these movies, if we're gonna make movies like this, to be real. And nobody really fucking comes back from the OD, right? Like, you know, this is not fucking Pulp Fiction where you stab her in the heart with a fucking adrenaline needle and she comes back to life. That's bullshit. Not that it can't happen, but in most parts, I thought that it would have gave I think it would have been even more grittier, like you were talking about on some of that front.
Like, would have been ill if she would have died.
Yeah, or him. You know, like, you know, maybe they should have cut down and did more jail shit. Maybe he banged with somebody in jail and died. Or maybe he didn't get clean. Like, I thought that whole process was just too McDonough-y for me. Like, they wanted to give the audience a happy ending, and I don't think that that's realistic. I think that if he would have rehabbed and not had Shorty, or rehabbed because Shorty died and lived for her to be better.
And then you had the part, and then you had the part where the guy got shot in the stomach, and they never explained how he got shot in the stomach.
That was so fucking weird. I was like, what the fuck happened?
What was the purpose?
The only thing I think about is that when he shot that shot, it had to ricochet somewhere and hit him.
But I would have been fire if they would have went like a back, while they're in the car. He's like trying to fix him out. He's like, oh, why did you get shot? How did he get shot? And then they go back real quick and show how he got shot. I thought that was just a weird. He shot, like, it was he walked out the store. He left the bank.
It was pointless.
And left. The one thing that was dope, I thought that the Russo brothers were doing, that I don't know if you caught it, was all the names of the banks.
Was dope.
That was dope. I'm pretty sure people are not gonna notice that, but
a little Easter egg. It was fire.
If you watch the movie, there's a basically shitty banks.
I'll tell you this,
Fuck America Bank, shit like that.
We've been super hardcore in a lot of the films. Bad or good, this is definitely one of the movies you want to waste your time watching.
Yes.
Some of the other films are absolutely trash.
Yes.
I think I Don't Care, and Cherry has definitely been better than Wonder Woman, Justice League, whatever else we
Tenet,
Little Things. It was better than Little Things.
Yeah, for sure.
So there was a bunch of films that, if you're gonna measure up to this, I think that this one was a much better film.
I agree.
Did we get any comments while we dip out or before we dip out?
I know
my aunt was
Josie.
pissed. Yeah,
she was here.
She was talking mad trash to me. I was like, God damn it.
You got a point there. Emmanuel said word about the bitch move, about the leaking the messages.
Thank you, my man, Emi.
Rudy Batista.
That's my man. What's up, Rudy? What are you talking about?
He said, great to see you at it, doing lessons today until 7 p.m. I'll get
Nasty.
with you
Okay, shout out to him. Yes, shout out to him for he works with the youngsters trying to make pro players.
Yep. And then my other boy that watched me play Call of Duty said, we got to push this out more. We need to get more people in here and grow this.
Good luck. Thanks so much for that. What's his name? Is that the dude is that the dude that fixed our sound?
Oh, no? And the other guy that fixed the sound was Antonio.
Okay, so Pretzel, thank you so much, bro. We're out here. Please, bro, when we're posting our stuff, if you're on social, retweet our stuff, like our stuff, put our stuff out there. I'll let my man take us out, but definitely, man, get us out there. We're trying to do big things. I'm trying to work on getting this thing off the ground crazy.
For sure. You know what movie I'm looking to see?
Tell us,
a little sneak peek real quick. I'm looking at that movie on Amazon Prime with my man Michael B. Jordan.
I am excited, but I'm gonna hamper my shit only because I always get fucking excited. But action flick, but we'll see. If it's longer than 2 hours, I'm gonna tell you it's not gonna be good.
Okay, I got you. And
90 minutes, baby.
And once Winter Soldier's over, we gotta talk about that. Winter Soldier Falcon. Once it's over.
By the way,
so far, immaculate.
Fire. I don't know what
10
the
out of 10.
Somebody needs to steal some Disney execs, bro.
10 out of 10. So far, 10 out of 10. But I want to thank everybody for coming out, hanging out with your boys. Follow us on, YouTube, fucking Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff. We will be getting Patreon set up this week. So hopefully you guys take a look out for that. And I'm excited. I'm excited about what we got going on.
I'm super excited. Thanks, H, for coming on, bro. And we'll talk soon, everybody.
Peace.
Oh, let me see what's my thing. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thanks for listening.
Yeah.